Welcome back to Mark the Path, episode 5. I'm here today with our special guest, Marcus. Marcus, what do you do, my friend?
So I work in finance. So that's looking after suppliers and staff expenses and all of that, all of the fun stuff.
All the fun stuff.
Yeah, so reconciling accounts and, dealing with queries, and that's the main parts of the job.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, did you always think you wanted to do this job? When you left school, you thought, this is what I'm going to be doing?
The funny thing is that I had a choice between IT and accounting. And I said to myself, because it was back in the day, that I didn't want to be on computers all the time. But the funny thing is that
you're on computers all the time now.
I'm on computers all the time, every day. Yeah,
bro,
yeah.
crazy.
So I ended up in a position that I didn't think I would be in. I thought it would be like all done on paper and very old school. Yeah. But yeah, everything's moved to systems, and I've used like so many different accounting systems as well.
Yes. I have heard of these actually. My brother was telling me.
So Sage, Oracle, Open Accounts.
Oracle.
Yeah.
I had some shares in Oracle, man.
Name all of it.
No,
I've probably used it,
man.
Yeah.
Alright, cool, man. So basically what we'll do is we're going to go, man, we're going to revisit the past, man. We're going to go to how it was in school. Do you remember, how far back do you remember from your schooling?
Boy, primary school was a long time ago.
Yeah, I know. Do you remember primary?
I remember some bits, when we had rainy days, we had to go inside. I remember we used to play football in the ball court. Mm-hmm. And then we had do you remember the old leather balls?
Leather balls?
The old leather footballs.
Oh, I don't.
It was like how do I explain it? And they had patches on the side.
Oh, yeah,
and do you remember on the cold days when it got kicked in your face?
Slap.
Yeah.
The slap. Oh.
It's done. Yeah, it's done. Yeah,
bro, that's crazy, man.
So that was on concrete and all that.
Yeah.
So I played for the football team in primary school as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it was like, I would say like a 5-a-side type size.
Yeah, so I was going to say, what about, so we talk about now, do you remember any teachers from primary school? Anyone that stands out?
I don't actually.
No.
Yeah, I literally don't have any memory of
what about
teachers.
Subjects? Anything like you're like, oh yeah, I knew I liked this subject, or I remember something that I enjoyed during my time in primary?
I don't remember being
it's fine. You don't remember, it's fine.
I like drawing. That's what I remember is the drawing, like the little class games and all that. So
when you had wet play.
Yeah, all of that. Yeah, that's the most I remember. I don't think I've actually looked back in a long time.
No, fair enough, man. I mean, I think that's what you call it. I think everyone kind of struggles with it a little bit with primary school.
Old age is catching up.
Yeah, exactly. 100% the memory just going. Okay, cool. What about? Do you remember when you transitioned into secondary school?
Yeah, I remember that it was a lot of adapting. Like we were told, life is beginning now, and then now because we had, the year 5 tests and all that got us into secondary school.
Oh, the SATs.
The SAT, yeah. So that's when, I thought, life's actually beginning and things are going to get more intense. There's no more messing around, and we had to have the uniforms ready and all that. We did wear uniforms in primary school, but this was like a different, shirts and ties and all of that. Had to learn how to tie in my tie and, be on time and all of this. So it was, that's when it just changed a lot. My life changed after that.
How about, what do you call it? So you start, obviously you have the year 7 and year 7 to year 9 period. I like to call it kind of in a sense, I mean, year 7 to 8, would be kind of fun, I would say. And then you have year 9 where you have the SATs, which is meant to be a little bit more serious.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? So do you remember what it was like to be in year 7, year 8? Again, any teacher stands out for you, any subject that you're you know what, I was enjoying this. Or it doesn't even have to be a subject. It was something that you were enjoying at the time. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's when I found out that I was good at maths because so what happened is that I was given work. So I was given year 9 work, for example, when I was in year 7 for maths. Yeah.
Okay.
So I would finish my work early and then start talking. So the teacher would say, why are you talking? You need to finish your work. So I would say, I'm done already. And he said, you can't be done already. I only just gave it to you. And then, so he would go through it and he'd be like, tick, tick, tick. And he'd just look at me and he's like, you got 100%. And he said, what's going on here? everyone else is still working. You're the only one that's finished already.
That's it.
Yeah. So he said, I got something else for you, blah, blah, blah. And then within a few minutes, I answered it all. And he would say to me, you haven't put your workings on there. How did you get correct? And I said, I did it in my head. And it's like,
mad.
How did you do that in your head? And then basically after a while I got told that if you don't write your workings then you lose marks.
Yeah.
So I had to force myself to write it down even though I already had the answer. Yeah. So the way I explained it to him, he said, like, tell me about it. And I would say that it's almost like I had a calculator in my head, almost like, as in I could write it down in my mind and then come to the answer and then, yeah.
That's sick, man. That's crazy, man. That's helpful.
Yeah. So I was talking to, at the time, some friends in class, disturbing them, and they hadn't finished theirs.
Yeah.
So we had to get separated. So we were known as the Three Musketeers. So they literally put us like one on the left side, one on the right, the one in the center. And then we'd always find a way, you know, like throwing paper across the class and the toy. Yeah.
So wait, who was in the center then? Was it you?
I was in the center, yeah.
So what, your friends would copy your work?
Yeah, there's always someone like trying to copy and all of that.
That would have been me, bro.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that would have been me.
But there's other subjects that I lacked in, like for example, geography. So we would bring in our Game Boys at the time, Game Boy Advance, playing under the desk and all that.
What about English and science?
English, well, we had one teacher where no one would sit at the front because he used to, when he would talk, he would spit. Yeah, so like all you see is spit coming on the desk. So the funny thing is that if you got caught talking, he would say, come to the front and sit in front of me.
Dead.
So I don't know if there's a punishment or what. Yeah, so, and then I had another teacher and some lady. So I don't know if you remember that grinding beat.
Grinding beat?
Yeah, so there's a beat that everyone used to do in school.
Okay.
So I used to do that on the desk. And it used to annoy the teacher. She would literally turn around and shout, and you know. So that was like year 7 to year 9, and then PE everyone used to do. So there was RE and PE at the same time.
RE and PE at the same time.
So what I mean by that is that there was, if you imagine the whole year, like one half of the year will be doing PE and one half will be doing RE in the class. So you have one class that's in RE, one class is in PE.
How big was your school?
So we didn't have sixth form. We just had year 7 to year 11.
Yeah, no. But again, your year. How big was your year then?
I can't remember how many people. I think what's the average? It's usually about.
Like in my school, for instance, we had 6 different ties. So 6 different classrooms. So I would say average. You'd probably say like around 30 kids per thing. So you're looking at what 180 kids.
Yeah,
more or less.
Our one was less than that. So we only had 4 tutor classes.
Oh yeah. So like, my partner's the same thing.
Yeah. So yeah, it was a bit less, but people used to sneak out from the RE and go into PE.
How did you get away with that?
Yeah, and then also like if you got to our classes late, then someone would like open the door slowly for you while the teacher turned around, and then you sneak in just before the register, or people will sign your name on the register and all that. Yeah, so there's all those little cheeky things that everyone used to do.
That's funny, man.
Yeah.
What about DT? You did DT in school?
Yeah, design technology.
What did you do? What was that? Is it because I think in my kids' school now they do like food and stuff like that. But
food tech.
But they call it DT.
Okay.
For us, it was like carpentry. It was like woodworking.
Yeah. So we had food tech and then we had design technology.
You had food tech. No, we didn't have that.
Yeah. So it was like making. They would ask us to bring in food that we liked, sort of thing. So I had to season up some chicken. Obviously, I got mum's help at the time. I wasn't a cook back then. But
fair enough.
Yeah, we've made pizza. We made a few other things. That's the 2 that I remember. But we made, the pizza was nice. Oh, coleslaw. Yeah, I think that's the last time I made coleslaw.
Oh, you don't like it?
No, I like coleslaw, but it's the last time I actually made it.
I swear.
Maybe something to add to my list.
I've never made it, mate. I've never made it.
Yeah.
So fair enough.
That was good.
Oh, cool, man. So okay, cool. So now we're in year 9 now. Let's just go to year 9. So obviously, clearly, maths smashed it. How did you do in your English and science then?
So science was my weakest. So I think it was like, C in English, D in science, and then A in maths. Yeah, maths was like,
Oh, but but in sets we had numbers, didn't we?
Was it numbers?
It was numbers. Yeah,
I can't remember. To be honest,
fair enough. No, I understand.
I just remember like roughly based on performance. Like, that's how I would compare it.
This is an interesting part. Is now your choices. You have choices now in year 9. What did you choose?
So back then, what we were talking about before about the whole finance thing.
No. So obviously in year 9 is the time when you are allowed to drop certain subjects. So you were allowed to drop history, geography, and then you were allowed to bring up the 3 that you were actually generally interested in. So you could have business studies and all these other things. Do you remember your choices?
Yeah. So I chose. I'm trying to remember now. I chose French, but that was to do with finance. So what I was going to say is that at the time, accounting and finance was a big area. Everyone said you can make a lot of money from it and all that. So
who was telling you that? That's I'm curious about that.
I think that was going around. That like how we said about lawyers, they were associated with being rich at the time.
Okay, yeah.
So it was accountants. If you like my parents would say, like, if you're accounting, you can get good money, that sort of thing.
Right.
Yeah. So the reason why I picked up French was because they said that if you learn another language, then it will benefit you in the future because you can work for international banks and all of that. And the funny thing is, I've worked with some companies that speak French. So, so the irony.
How's your French?
Very basic. Bonjour. Comment tu t'appelles? Je parle en français.
Okay, fair.
Yeah, so very basic.
No, fair enough.
Yeah, so I remember picking French, and then what was the other one? Was it 2 subjects?
3. 3. Yeah. Actually, no, it depends. I think you could do 2 if you did a BTEC.
Yeah. So I think I chose BTEC Business at the time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the way it was.
BTEC Business? Or was that college?
Well, I'm gonna let you decide that one.
I'm literally mixing it all up. Yeah. I haven't thought about it since years.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
So it was you did BTEC business in secondary.
I think was it secondary or college? Yeah, my memory is terrible. To be honest
fair
with you.
enough.
Yeah.
Oh, cool, man.
But it's towards the business side, and I definitely picked French. Yeah. So.
Nah, cool, man.
Yeah.
So like, how did you enjoy them subjects? Like, again, I guess now you have year 10 to year 11.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So now it's like, okay, cool. Obviously, you're concentrating on your main ones: maths, English, science.
Yeah.
And PE.
Okay, so I got it right now. Okay, I chose GMVQ IT. Now you're stirring up my memory now. So
IT, okay, cool.
IT, yeah. So GMVQ IT, and that counted as 2 or 3. That's how it worked. And then I picked French.
Right, so BTEC was is a college.
That was a college.
GMVQ was
GMVQ IT. At the time. So I'm not sure they still have it now. So that when they said that counted as a few modules.
It counted as 2. Yeah.
And then French on top of that. Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. Okay, cool. So now you have maths, English, science. You have PE. You've dropped art clearly.
I dropped art.
Maths, English, science, PE, and you got French, and you have IT.
Yeah.
How's it going with these then? Like, is your enjoyment of these subjects, like, what's that like? Are you enjoying the subjects that you're doing, or is it something that stood out more than everything else?
I think, what's the best way to say it? There was a bit of a rebel area where studying wasn't the easiest, especially French. So everyone was like, it was a small class.
Yeah.
So everyone was like giggling, messing around. Like, it was hard to concentrate back then.
Yeah.
Like, we would get distracted so much. But IT, I enjoyed it. I love IT. That will be like, you follow instructions on how to do something. So you'd use, at the time, I don't think it was called Microsoft Office. It changed. But like Excel, Word.
Yeah.
It had a different name.
Yeah.
So you'd use all of that. And then you had to create like a
presentation.
Yeah, presentation, graphic design, that sort of stuff. And then use Excel for formulas, basic formulas.
Yeah.
So you have instructions to, once you follow that, then you would get like graded on that.
So this whole throughout your schooling and stuff. So what was your parents like? What do you call it? I wouldn't say input, but
very strict.
Their involvement in your education and stuff.
Yeah, very strict. Like, they would attend every parents' evening.
Okay.
Every parents' evening. they had the teachers' numbers, all of that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, how am I getting on? All of that. So teachers would say, like, if I was talking too much in class, which was my problem, they would say, we'll call your parents, you know, and I'll beg them not to. I'll say, give me extra homework, you know. Like, my teacher expected a lot from me.
Right.
Yeah, so if I got a B, they'll say, why didn't you get an A? Yeah, so there was that expectation for me to work hard, that sort of thing.
Right.
Yeah, so.
No, fair enough, man. Okay, cool. So, did your parents ever speak to you about like what they wanted you to become? Or like, well, actually, you did say that accounting was definitely one of them, but did they not ever recommend something else?
So basically, when they spoke to the teachers, they said that I'm really good at maths.
Yeah.
And so I went in year 8 to Oxford Academy scheme.
Okay.
Yeah. So I went to, like, there's a few of us that were selected, and then I was a representative of the school.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I still have that T-shirt as well. Yeah, from back in the day. Yeah. So yeah, they had really high plans for me to go into maths and all of that. But then year 9, when I was supposed to take the exam 2 years early,
Yeah.
I went to Jamaica
Oh.
at the time.
Okay.
So I missed the exam, which changed a lot. So I ended up doing my maths 1 year earlier rather than 2 years earlier.
Damn.
Yeah. So yeah, there's a lot going on.
That's
Yeah.
crazy, man.
Yeah.
Just the what do you call it? I guess to be like so good at maths that you're doing the work of, you know, the older years. Did it continue like that then? So like when you, for instance, got to like now year 11 and you did your maths GCSE, did you still find it like super easy?
I wouldn't say it was super easy. During the period of year 9 to year 11, there was a lot of family stuff going on.
Right.
So I didn't perform as well as I should have. Yeah.
Okay. No, fair enough. All right, cool. So, how did you perform in your choices for French and IT? Like, did you pass you passed them?
Yeah, I passed French, and then I done really well in IT.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Now
I can't remember what the grading was, but yeah.
It was good.
Yeah, it was good, yeah. French was a pass, I'll say that.
Okay, cool. So,
Yeah.
now we're gonna go to college now.
Yeah.
What did you choose for college now?
Yeah, so I was going to... Yeah, so I sat down with my teacher, and I ended up picking... That's when I picked BTEC Business. So when I spoke to, I think it's the careers team, what they said is that BTEC Business was a balance of different modules. So I'm trying to remember what the module's called now. So there was a fashion part to it, there was a business part to it, there was 2 accounting modules, and there was law modules in there.
Okay.
So business law, that sort of stuff. I can't remember what the other module was called. But yeah, there's a whole variety of different...
and all to do with business.
Yeah. So different areas that you can learn. And then that's what helped me decide what I wanted to do going forward after that.
Okay, so, but then what other ones did you choose? So you had, again, business.
Yeah.
But business wasn't the only thing that you could choose in college, right?
I think, yeah, once you've done a BTEC in college, it was similar to a GMVQ where it was multiple modules.
Yeah, it was meant to account for, I think, 2 A-levels.
Yeah.
Or something like that. But then again, you do one BTEC and then you do another A-level kind of thing or something else.
I can't remember anything else after that. Yeah, to be honest.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
No, so how was that then? How did you find that? How did you find your college experience?
That was good. There were some people that were in college for like 3-4 years.
Yeah.
I was in college for 2 years. It was almost like I didn't get a chance to adapt. 2 years was so quick. So you go to secondary school and primary school when you're there for a lengthy time.
Yeah.
And then you go to college and you're only there for 2 years. So by the time I've settled in, I'm leaving. Yeah. So there's a part of me that if I could have done 3 or 4 years, then I could have like adapted and said that, talked about my college experience, but it was very brief. So I did enjoy the business subject. So one project that I remember is that I had to compare McDonald's pricing strategy to Pret a Manger.
Okay.
Yeah. So it was someone who has meals ready to go, fast food, McDonald's, versus someone who does fresh food every day, Pret a Manger. So we had to do SWOT analysis and SMART goals on what each company would do for their business plans.
Bro, that's so detailed, bro. That's crazy.
Yeah.
For someone's memory, bro, that's mad. I mean, but again, it's something that stands out.
Yeah. So I really enjoyed that. And then, so what happened was my teacher said there's only 4 or 5 people who have done it correctly and who have got B or higher. So I said, I can't believe this. Like, I probably failed it, blah, blah, blah. And then my teacher said, we're going to get those 4 or 5 to help the rest of the class. So the teacher said, Mark, you're one of them. Like, you got A in it.
Nice.
And then I was like, who, me? Yeah. And she's like, yeah, you aced it. Like, you done really well. You done a really in-depth analysis of it. And then people was looking at me like, this guy, sort of thing like that. But I think I just enjoyed the business aspect of it. And then, so we done a bit of accounting modules, and we done like a fashion show as well. So that was fun. It's very different.
Nah, fair, man. It sounds interesting. I was going to say, I mean, during that time, I guess, what did you think of your teachers then?
My favourite teacher at the time was a law teacher.
Why was that?
Oh, he made law so interesting. Like,
okay, yeah.
So he would give you case studies, but he would make it so like fun and exciting, that to the point where everyone was crying, and as in crying with laughter.
Oh, right.
Yeah, and then like you say, all right, that's it for the lesson, and everyone's like, oh, can we do another case study next one? So he would say, you never believe this case, and then he goes, it's the craziest case you hear in your life. That's how you explain it. And
Right.
he'd say, oh yeah, there's this guy, he dressed up in a clown suit, and then he went to rob McDonald's. I'm just giving, like, making up.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
And then we were like, and he'd be like, oh, you don't want to hear the rest of it. And like, yeah, we want to hear, we want to hear it. Like, and he goes, yeah, so this happened and blah, 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 and this is the outcome. And then it made people want to do law.
Right.
Yeah. So, like, everyone was like, we can't wait to the next class, that sort of stuff. Got us engaged. Yeah, that's all right.
No, sorry. Go finish.
Yeah, no, it's kept us engaged.
Yeah, I think
topic.
it's so important, isn't it? It's like I idea to have a teacher that is generally like interested in like trying to teach and trying to get you guys, I'm about to say entertained, but it's keep you engaged is the word. Yeah, it's I don't know. I find it again like that the level of teaching. I've been speaking to people before, and a lot of people just talking. Yeah, man, you have the teachers that are so strict, because they want to control you, like control the class to make sure that no one's messing about.
Yeah.
But then this idea of like, okay, cool, we have to have our heads down and constantly just concentrate because this is the way the teacher wants it, as opposed to this teacher's actually making me really interested in what it is that I'm learning.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? So it's really nice that you got to have that. Do you know what I'm saying? Did you ever speak to any of your teachers about like further education, like going where you were going to go after college?
I think it was just the careers team. So my actual tutor, actually, she said to me, what do you like doing? And I said, I like numbers and I like IT. And then, so she said to me, all right, you've been doing IT like most of your life. You like numbers. Why not try accounting? She basically said that she believes that I can do it. And, and at that time, from year 9 onwards, family stuff going on, maybe not a lot of confidence, that sort of thing. So I was sort of like, okay, yeah, I'll give it a go type thing. So it wasn't like I consciously said, this is what I want to do. It was sort of like, okay, my tutor has faith in me. Let me try and do it. And then I picked accounting for university.
Oh, fair. So that's what, a 3-year degree?
Yeah, 3-year degree. Yeah.
How was that like? How was uni for you?
Oh, the start was. I remember being in the lecture, and he said to us, "I think only 40% of people pass."
Oh my days!
Yeah.
Who was your lecturer? Sam. I forgot his name. I think I must have been in the same class.
That was in uni. Oh, you talking about?
Uni. Yeah.
Yeah.
In uni, it was the same thing.
Yeah.
Where was your? Was you in Holloway?
No, Holloway Road. Yeah, North. Yeah.
No. I was in Moorgate.
Oh, Moorgate. Okay.
I was in Moorgate.
So you got the same speech.
Well, we got the same speech. Yeah, it's like if you come to uni and you don't get a 2-1, you've wasted your time.
Yeah.
Don't come to uni.
Yeah.
You know
So they showed us a chart and they said that like 40% pass and then a certain amount of percent go on to stay in finance, and then a lot of people go out of their degree. They decide that's not for them, that sort of thing. And then basically the introduction to finance, for me, there was a lot of big words, and I said, this is going to be a struggle. And you could see people just looking puzzled. And then, so that's when I learned to build up my note-taking. So I started just writing pages and pages after lectures and then reviewing it. There's some lecturers that there was no point going there, where they literally print it out and then read from it. and there's others where you had to be there to learn it. And there's some where, like for example, income tax, where it would be so quiet, and then it wasn't the most exciting topic at the time, so you'd almost want to fall asleep in the lecture.
Yeah, nice.
So there's different lecturers' techniques, you know. Some were hard on you, some were like, I can help you anytime, some were like hands-off-ish. So you had to adapt and, you know, use it, be ready to like make sure you took good notes, basically.
Right. I was gonna say, did you, I guess it's an interesting thing, what would have happened, like, was not going to uni an option for you?
I think because I was going through a lot of the time, I only had like a one-track mind. So I thought like, you know, like systematic, almost like college, uni, this, like that. So
a checklist.
Yeah, basically it was like a checklist. And then my older brother had finished, graduated from university. So then it for me, it seemed like, okay, this is the pathway I have to go. But in hindsight, if I had the opportunity, I probably would have gone for more of a work placement and then studied at the same time. So, you know, like something like AAT.
An apprenticeship.
Yeah. So, not to skip ahead, but when I graduated, I was basically overqualified for the AAT jobs because of my degree.
Yeah.
So, although I wanted experience, I couldn't do that.
Yeah. No, I think it's a weird one because obviously now I have kids, and for me personally, if my kids don't have an actual idea, an actual like solid idea of what it is that they want, I'd much rather just divert them to an apprenticeship because of the cost. The cost of a degree now is so expensive, and like you said, the idea of going to do a degree and then you not even being like in the industry that, you know, you studied to be in.
Yeah.
Like, what's the point? You spend all this money, have this knowledge of like now something you don't need. Do you know what I'm saying? So I feel like at times university is a little bit of a scam.
Yeah.
And it's sad that it's looked at that way because, again, like you were saying with the careers counsellor, I remember we got one and I told them I want to become a mechanic, and they're like, nah, with your grades you should definitely go to university. So it was like, okay, cool, I'll go to university.
Yeah.
Because again, it's like, it kind of felt like that was the way it was meant to be. Do you know what I'm saying? This is the way, like, this is the pathway. It's meant to be school, college, then uni, and then you get a good job. Do you know what I'm saying? But the reality is, like, you can go to university and not enjoy it, not have a good time, and not like what it is that you're doing. So you're better off not going to uni and finding your purpose, finding the things that you actually enjoy. You know?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It's a tricky one. All right, man. So like, okay, cool. You've done with uni now. I mean, did you not ever find like other stuff that you were interested in? You were like, you know what? Maybe accounting isn't gonna be the one. You know.
I think because of my stubbornness, I always said to myself that I didn't want to quit. So there might have been times where I said, oh, this is long, and, you know, like I had to memorize like 5 pages of formulas, like cash flow, profit and loss, all that stuff, and then you have to make it balance as well. Yeah, so as it sounds, it's not as exciting, you know, spending hours in a library, that sort of stuff. But I think, because of my stubbornness, I didn't want to quit. So I couldn't really separate, do I like this versus quitting.
That's the thing, I guess, is I look at it as why do you need to quit? Like, why can't you do something side by side? Or still look into it, you know what I'm saying? If there was something, again, like something, again, that you liked, why couldn't you do both things?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I think it was because I love numbers. That's what kept me on it. Yeah. So just calculating things. And I know a lot of people hate numbers, but, you know.
You know, I think it's interesting because obviously, I remember I was talking to my brother about this because obviously he did an accounting degree as well, and same, he said he loves numbers and stuff, and I think he was like doing it, and his part of him said like he wasn't quite content because he thought it was going to be more numbers, you know.
Yeah.
Did you have the same kind of feeling as well?
Yeah, because you do have to do other modules as well. So there's 2 law modules as well. So there's you have to do business law, it's like similar to college, but the more advanced version. And I think there was corporation law. I think it was, or corporate law. Yeah, and then there was income tax as well, which is a bit of a nightmare. Like depending on the engine size, then you cut a certain percent of the tax, and yeah, it was very, very advanced. I'm even picturing like having to remember all of that as well. Managed to get a B in it. Don't know how. Yeah.
Not nice, bro.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to remember. So in the last year of uni, you can pick different areas of finance. For last year, you can choose like dissertations.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in order to get more marks, we picked something called what's it called? Open Life? No, not Open Life. There's basically a game. It was almost like similar to RuneScape, but somehow it was in the module for accounting. So me and my friends picked it, and we used it to build up our, like everyone always picks like an easy module just to build up your marks.
Yeah, for your final mark. Yeah. Nah, that's jokes, man. Yeah. Oh, I mean, okay, cool. So now you've graduated. So now, what are you thinking now in terms of, okay, cool, I'm gonna straight look for an accounting job?
Yeah. So during that time, there was, I think it was the credit crunch, and there was another crisis. I think we've been through every crisis. Yeah, so it was when they were basically saying on the news that graduates are struggling to find jobs. So I got put into that bracket because they sent, like you said, they were pushing everyone to university. Yeah, so I was going to say something else, but I was like, all right, let me not say that. Yeah,
say it, speak your mind.
Yeah, so long story short, they were pushing everyone to university, and then so it's harder for people to find jobs. So it was like 100 graduates to one job, and then what they found out is that some people, there was retailers doing like graduate schemes, and they weren't picking anyone. So you could have 500 people applying.
Yeah.
So you go to the next stage, and then you go to a stage where I can't remember if it's called like a case study or study group, where you have like 20 people, and then they had to do tests when you arrived at the center, and then you'd have like the last 3 go head to head for the job.
Yeah. And
then apparently when they investigated it, they weren't picking anyone. So you're going through the vigorous stages, for the job.
Yeah.
So you're going through all of the stages, but no one was getting picked. So the whole point of it was to work on the job, and then they'll pick you for the final job, that sort of thing. But yeah, no one was getting picked, so it was a nightmare. So I worked in retail in the meantime, and I was still like trying to study on the side. I sent out hundreds of emails to practice firms and different companies and all that. But like they moved everything to online. So I was at the time I was still sending out CVs, so I was printing them out, handing them out, offering to work for free. But yeah, it's just a hard time.
Yeah, just trying to get in there, man.
Yeah, recruiters, all that stuff. Yeah.
So how long did you work in retail? How many jobs did you have before you got your first accounting job then?
So I was in that retail job for 3 years, and then I went to a recruiter.
You stayed in one.
I stayed in one job. Yeah. Oh, okay. So in the meantime, I was just sending out loads of emails. So I literally go on like Google, going to Central London, handing out my CV, dressed up, all that, like suited up, handing it all out.
The hustle was
and
real.
Then, yeah, because it was like a recession. I think there was credit crunch and recession around that time.
I don't remember when that would have been. What 2012, 13?
Yeah, around that time, yeah. Yeah. So, so there's all of that going on. So when I got the call from the recruiter, that's when I started giving up. So it wasn't just me. Like in that retail job, there was a lot of graduates.
Yeah, okay.
So that's when I got people reading books. Don't ask me how. So we're literally in the canteen, and then I'm doing like some book club saying, don't worry, guys, reading positive books and Rich Dad Poor Dad and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So I got people reading different books, and everyone was basically saying that I give up. I studied this, I can't find a job, and I told everyone to keep applying. Then slowly everyone started finding new jobs, like in the positions they wanted and all that. So
cool, man.
Yeah, when I got my call, it was my first time going into a finance job and all that, and then it was basically it started as a mess, but then I basically sorted out all the accounts, and my name's still known to this day at the company. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I even went to meet up with old colleagues, and then a new colleague at the time said, "Oh, is your name Mark?" And I said, "Yeah," and then she said, "Thank you for sorting out the accounts. I heard about you, blah blah blah." And then my name was floated around to different CEOs and all that stuff.
That's cool, man.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's I guess a big moment. I guess something really to be like proud of, like at least like within yourself that you've managed to do this, you know.
Yeah. I spent so long looking for it. I ended up working 60 hours a week.
Damn.
Yeah, so I was working on Saturday as well, and then I would come in earlier during the week sometimes as well. I was getting like a crazy amount of invoices, so like it could have been like a stack like to put in the system, and then accounts that were like 3 years behind, all that stuff. Yeah. So
were you enjoying it the whole time? Like, did you enjoy
it?
The process?
It was stressful, but I really enjoyed it. Yeah, and it got to the stage where like a supplier will ask me, "How's Jim?" You know, a supplier. Yeah, because I changed the relationship around. So it went from, you know, like I could say to them, "We'll get it sorted next week," and then they would trust my word, you know, and then they'll send the goods. I even like negotiated goods for discount because of issues for 2 years, which was the supplier's fault. So it wasn't even my role to do that.
No, so I ended
up getting a 10% discount. Yeah.
Oh, really? Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool though. I think it's that's interesting though. It's the idea of like I don't know. I feel like at times I'm one of them people that you're in to do this, and that's all I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? Don't ask me to go above and beyond because I'm not interested. I'm not invested that like that. Do you know what I'm saying? But it's really nice when you do have that. Do you know what I'm saying? Where you are putting extra because you genuinely care. You know. And did you care? I mean, am I wrong in saying that?
I think I take care in what I do. So my work has to be to a certain quality.
Right.
Yeah. So there were people in the department that, you know, may not have been as
proactive.
We use the word proactive. Yeah. Yeah. So if I went on holiday, I'd be like, "Can you, you know, cover me for this?" And it wouldn't get done. That sort of thing. So it got to the stage where people would call me over manager and all that stuff, and I didn't realize at the time that these were like CEOs, CFOs, COOs, and I'll say, yeah, I'll get that sorted, blah, blah, blah. Within 10 minutes, got it done. And then, so my name was the guy that everyone came to. Right. And then I was getting work from, you know, the accountants and that stuff. So I've got the most work in the department, and I'm getting work from other departments because everyone says that, you know, you can do it basically. But I have to work at high quality, you know, like if someone says I touched it, it has to be, you know,
good.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
It's just my work rate. That's what it is. It's nothing to do with like I'm trying to be overboard or, you know, anything like that.
It's just you're working to what you're comfortable.
Yeah,
no,
exactly.
Yeah, I can imagine that can annoy some people.
Yeah, no, of course. Yeah, it's just it has to be high quality. Like if I touched it, it has to be good.
No. I think that's a good way to look at things. Though, to be honest, it's like if everyone looked at it like that, you know, everyone's work would be amazing. You know.
Yeah, no, of course. Yeah.
I was gonna say, so okay, how long were you there for then?
So I was there for 2 years.
2 years.
Yeah.
And then where did you go from there then?
So I started temping after that because there was no progression.
Yeah, basically.
So a lot of my movements around have been for progression.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So did you try to have a conversation with them and they just said, "Nah, so we can't give you anything," or?
So I had more qualifications than some of the management accountants at the time. And one of the senior staff overheard a conversation where someone said that you should be sitting with them, not you shouldn't be here. You know, like you're much better than where you are. And then they said, you know, don't influence my staff, basically, and that they didn't want to progress anyone.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. And then imagine that you got a situation where no phones are on, accounts are a mess, to accounts are sorted, manager can now go on holiday, not worry about anything. So they're like, no, we can't have this guy going anywhere. Like, we have to keep this guy here. Do you get what I mean?
Right.
So it got to that situation. Yeah, so I said, okay, I'm even going to risk going from permanent to temp at somewhere else just to get some experience.
Yeah, I have this like this kind of like saying like we stay at a job kind of thing. Like we go to a job with the idea of they're either going to pay us the money we want, or if they don't pay us the money, at least there is room to grow, to become better at what it is that you're doing. If my job doesn't give me any of them two things, I shouldn't be there. Do you know what I'm saying? And it sounds like that was...
I just excelled because I learned everything inside out, software, all of that. They're using in-house software at the time. You know, like I just worked out that you can get reports this way, and I was just like, you know, when you become, you just know everything inside out. So
I think that's like a level of curiosity, but from yourself, like just you want to be able to understand everything.
I've gone from this mess to, I think it's part of a personality thing. I've gone from this mess to getting it to a place where the process is so smooth now and all of that. And now I'm kind of yawning, you know, like I could
slow down too much.
Yeah, I had music in, and I could do this so that in every job I've been at, like someone could come to me with a problem and they could talk for 5 minutes. And I could say, so basically you want me to do this? And they say, yeah. And I say, 2 minutes, done. That's how that's the stage I get to with every job that I've been in.
So it's like it sounds like you you really embrace the challenge. Like you go for it.
I never really thought of it like that, because if you had mentioned it like that, like, are you ready for a challenge? I'll be a bit like, I don't know, like it sounds a bit. Whereas when I get stuck in there, I'm actually doing it without realizing.
Yeah.
So it literally gets to that stage where people come up to my desk, and every job I've gone to, they've come to me as the go-to, and it's like, they talk for like 5-10 minutes. So I'm saying basically, this is what you want, and they're like, and I'm like, it's done already, you know, and literally,
So okay, cool. So you've been doing some temping now. Where have you gone from there to this job now, or?
No, so I went Soros permanent after that. So I was temping there for a bit. Then I went to a different job temping as well. So the place I went to after that I went from a team to working by myself.
Okay.
So like sole ownership of everything. And that was tough because there was no processes in place. So you can imagine day 2 when you're being asked what is the process from someone who's senior in that company. So you're a bit like, you're supposed to tell me the process, you know, I'm not in your position, because you're asking me to do like a more advanced thing. You should pay what you're asking for. So I ended up creating a process, and you know, it's all a learning process, you know, so it helped me develop working alone and that sort of thing. So when I'm working in a team, I can be left to get on with it. So that's how I'm described now by senior people. They say that they don't have to worry about me. You know, I'm a fast learner, all of that. And the fast learning came from uni, with note taking. So where they think that I pick out like that, it's more of I take notes while they're talking,
right?
And then I have notes to reflect on, so I don't have to go back to them, only with little queries. And I work out why. I ask why are we doing this? Why do we do that step? So I get a deeper understanding of what the process of what I'm doing.
So you don't shy away from communicating with the people you need to communicate with.
Oh yeah, if I don't understand it, I'll tell you I don't understand.
Oh, nice.
I'll say, can you ABC it for me?
Yeah.
And then in my notes, I ABC that further. So it's very basic, so anyone can understand it. So that's how I process.
It's so interesting, Like I was talking to my first guest, and he was literally talking exactly the same thing as you. It's like this idea of like, in order for me to do the best, I will go speak to the best, get the information that I need, but best believe if I don't understand something, it's going back. It's just constantly, because I think at times what we do is like we don't get something, or we struggle, and then it's like, I need to fix this problem on my own, as opposed to, wait, there's masters out here. Why am I not asking them? Why can't I communicate with them?
Exactly.
You know?
You can learn from them, and it's about not having any ego, you know, like it's just like, if I need help, I need help. And, you know, like someone's got more experience than you, you sponge off them, and then you become that person afterwards.
Right.
So, and that's what I've done throughout, and that's how I learned so many different softwares. So you could say that I've used probably like 10 different accounting software, you know. And I've used systems that have been integrated with it, and I've even been asked by senior teams to test it. And, you know, so it's part of the IT, GMPQ IT that I've done, a bit of the business that I've done, uni for note taking and understanding. So everything's come together.
Okay, well, it's so interesting that you again have put it that way. I think I do ask, you know, like again, is people who have gone to university is like, okay, cool, like explain to me like the things that you've learned in university to how you applied it to your job. And it's like, there's a few things, you know, but the way you've kind of put it is like, yeah, man, it's all helped to get to this point, you know.
Yeah.
No, that's really cool, man.
Can I add to that?
Yeah, go on.
I think it hasn't been so much, you know, like having to learn all the financial statements and formulas and all that, but it's been having to work under pressure, as in the lecturer, you have 1 hour with that lecturer and you have to take as much notes as you can. So that's the being under pressure and being able to understand in a short time, to note take, to have pages, you know, to study, that sort of thing. So this has all helped me. So my answer to if you should go uni back then would have been yes. But as I've, in hindsight now, my decision's changed now. So I'll go for more apprenticeship. So on-the-job experience is more important than book smart. But I know that in some workplaces you need to have a degree, you know, for certain things to progress past a certain stage, or you know, that sort of thing.
Okay, cool.
But I'll never change it because of what I've learned. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here today, being able to, you know, get to this level of understanding and work under pressure and
100%.
learning, that sort of stuff.
It's 100%. Yeah, it's one of them things, and it's like we do, you know, we I think it's never to rewrite what has happened.
Yeah.
You know, we are where we are, and we have the skills, we have the understanding of, if I want something else, I have the power to change that.
Yeah, as they say, the present is a gift. So
damn, it's getting deep here, man. Okay, cool, man. So so you're still temping. Okay, next job. I mean, how many jobs are we going through until you get to where you are right now?
So I think it was so I went permanent after that, and then I went temp and then permanent. Yeah, after that. So there was during lockdown times there was a redundancy, and then I went temp, and then I went permanent for the last 2 years.
Where you are right now?
Yeah, where I am right now.
Okay,
yeah,
cool.
Yeah. So a lot of it's just been. So I started in medical. So I had 3 medical. So you had the medical perm, and then so I started as temp after the retail, but I got made permanent, so I call it permanent. And then so I went temp, medical temp again, and then I went to I'm trying to work out now, travel, and then I was still in that same area, and then I've changed again. Yeah, so I've worked in different industries. Yeah, yeah.
Which has been your favorite?
Very
industry?
different. Very different. Yeah.
Which one has been your favorite industry?
I did like medical. Yeah, I did like medical because things were very urgent. Like, for example, they needed like syringes for operation, that sort of stuff. Then sometimes they didn't get things done in time, so we had to be on board, like not miss calls, that sort of thing, and then sometimes get a payment done that day, you know, just to, you know. And I learned a lot because you speak to a lot of nurses. I had someone crying on the phone, that sort of stuff. And that we need it, otherwise we can't do the operation and all that. Yeah, so and then you would get like for example, the manager at the time would say, like, we're not paying it, they didn't follow the process, but then I would still do it because for me the patient was more important than our pride.
That's beautiful, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that is really interesting. That again, it sounds to me that you like the fast-paced move. You like you like the challenge. It's the idea of having like a job where you could say like a lazy job, like it wouldn't suit you, like you'd be bored.
Funny thing is, I was always hoping I'd get one. I'd never been in one. You know, you hear people say, "Oh yeah, I'm on Netflix," and I'm getting paid to do that. I never managed to find something like that. I even got told, like, so for example, in an interview, if I explained it like this, they will say, "This job's very laid back. I don't know if you would be happy with that." And I'm like, oh, you know, this has just been my experience, but I would love to have something where I could just sit back, put my feet up, you know. That's
really interesting. Have you spoken to other accountants, to kind of see what their perspective of like what a fast-paced industry could be? Because again, like you said, you like the what was it, the hospital?
Yeah, so it's medical, yeah.
The medical industry. Yeah. But maybe there are other industries that are, again, like this, quite full on. Why did you leave the medical one? Was that just a temp job?
So, yeah, it started as temp. So I didn't decide to go into that. It was just a temp, and I was like, oh, this is an opportunity. Yeah. So, yeah, I went in that, and then after that, you get a bit, I think the term is typecasted, where, not typecasted, but more like when people see your CV, they see that, oh, he's been in medical, so he would suit that. Because like how it works in finance is that there's some companies where you pay like after 60 days, for example, but medical might be instant or 30 days. So like the processes are similar. And I've worked with so many different suppliers. So for example, the first medical job will use similar suppliers as that medical one. So I would know straight away I'll fit straight in, even though I was using different softwares. So every temp role or permanent was different softwares. So I had to adapt to that every job.
Right.
And then because of my IT background, I adapted to that pretty quick.
This guy, man. Superhero on numbers, man. That's jokes, man. Okay, cool. So like your job now then, how you finding it? You enjoying it still?
Yeah, it's all right. But
what industry is this, sorry?
So this is more banking.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So I think, what can I say? I think I'm at the stage again of the new challenge thing. Yeah. So I have been considering it, but as we were saying earlier about, the side hustles and studying on the side. So I have been thinking whether I do keep this as, just the 9 to 5 and then study other topics on the side. Like it could be like, mastering in that returns or this and that. So at the moment, I'm leaving it as it is, but then I'm focusing in my spare time on other areas.
Okay.
Yeah.
What are the things that you're focusing on your the other side things? I guess the side hustles, the side
It's just I've been looking at passive income. I've been reading quite a few books. Been trying to build up my financial literacy. Understanding money. I've been very good at that in terms of being able to save as a kid. So my parents were always shocked. Like for example, you remember the little tins, the pound tins.
Yeah.
Back then you can get a lot of sweets with a pound. So I would save up and then I would have a full tin. Like it could be like, I don't know, 3 or 4 months. And my parents were like, as a kid, how can you save up for so long? They'll pick up the tin and they'll be like, where did you get this money from? And I'd be like, I saved it from all the little pocket money and all that. And they was so shocked. They said that you're very good at saving and all that. Yeah. So I already had that. I don't know where it came from because my parents are like, we wish we were like you. Yeah. So
that is interesting though. Like maybe as a kid, maybe you had like ambition of something that you wanted to buy with more.
Yeah.
Compared to like, again, I think the majority of kids, they look at it, give me a pound, I'm spending a pound.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But I could go without and then get to an amount where I could, buy my own Game Boy or, that sort of thing. Yeah. And then, so when we used to go to the supermarket, I could calculate the shopping and I'd always get within the £2 range.
Oh, okay.
So even if it was £140, my parents would ask me while we were shopping, how much is the shopping? And I'll say 142 and they'll be like, it'll come to 143.
Thank God you weren't born in this age, boy, because them little calculators have just ruined you, bro.
Yeah, yeah. So I could literally calculate the whole shopping trip in my mind.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's mad.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
So it's part of the game for me, and my parents would just be like, wow, I can't believe, yeah, so...
No, that's cool.
We all excel in something, Yeah, we all have our weak points and our strong points.
100%. So. I definitely agree with what you're saying there. We all have a strength, but at times maybe depends on what we value more. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think with a bit with the older generation, a little bit. I mean, maybe as well because you have immigrant parents. I have immigrant parents. It seems to me that they valued education so much. The idea of having a degree was like the best thing to
icing on the cake. Yeah,
it was the best thing to have because that means it meant that you were going to be in a good position in life.
Yeah,
but there are other ways. Do you know what I'm saying? There are definitely other ways, and it's one of the things as well. I think it's the study of if you pay attention to, again, your kid, pay attention to like what is that they like, what strengths do they have outside of school? Like if your kid is not doing well in school, does that mean they're going to be a failure in life? No, it doesn't. It just means that probably like they won't be a doctor.
Yeah,
they could be something else that's also very very successful in being something else.
Yeah.
So I think these kind of things are very important, to kind of identify that we all have strengths.
I think it's hard because from their time, for example, factory work was high paying back then. And then, for example, a degree would look golden compared to factory work.
Yeah.
But then times change where now everyone's got a degree. So now we have to look at what the next changes are, which is now, doing your own thing and passive income.
You're creative,
Yeah.
I think. Yeah. Is how
which is, back then, you didn't have access to so much information. So now we moved on to the information age. Yeah, where we had everyone, there's no excuse now.
Yeah.
You have access to everything. There's books, you can research it online. Obviously, there's a lot of misinformation, but, it's filtering through. And,
No, I definitely agree with that. I definitely think that we're in a stage where we have so much information that we can become, if we are genuinely interested in something, we'll find a way to become it. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Marcus, mate, your journey has been fascinating, mate. All right, mate. So at this point in our show is when I ask you a few questions, and I guess it's kind of, the questions are here to like help potential people going into further education, or I mean people who have come out of further education to come, or have come out of education to look into do I want to do a job like this, or people are considering career changes, so these are like just a few questions here. So Marcus, what makes you good at your job?
I think it's just determination. I don't know if it transferred from fitness, the whole no matter how tired you are, you do it and you have your tasks and goals. I think I'm very goal oriented, and it's just how I pride myself in my qualities. Like I said, everything has to be high quality, everything I do. So I think that's what transferred into work in that sense.
So now speaking again, like for someone, again, just like me or someone who's just come out of school.
Yeah.
What is going to make me... I wanted to do your job.
Yeah.
What advice would you give me in order to be as successful as I can?
I think you have to enjoy what you do. You have to be organized, which takes a while to build up. So it gets to a stage where you might get overwhelmed, and then you have to think, okay, what can I do to organize all of this pressure? And then, so for example, you start using Outlook. You could use Outlook for calendar dates, times and all that, or notepads, and you start to prioritize tasks. But sometimes you have to take the hits in order to learn, basically. So you have to absorb it, and then after a while, you start to get used to it. And then before you know it, you can just look at it and you know already what needs to be done first, that sort of thing. So a lot of it's just learning. So learning's the most important thing. Not to be scared, to lose to win, basically.
I like that. Yeah, you have to fall down and learn to kind of continue to get up. Yeah. No, cool, man. Okay. Would you recommend me to seek further education? I guess this could be now like you'd have to answer this question a bit of, okay, cool. If someone's coming out of school, no degree, and then now if someone is looking into getting into it at an older age and who don't have anything, maybe they have an interest in the role, but they don't have any education directly to the role.
Yeah. I would say it's always going to be the either apprenticeship role. I think the main important thing is getting the on-the-job experience.
Yep.
Because once you tap into that, then there's quite a few jobs that will sponsor you to get your degree after that. So I think the main thing is getting the experience, because if, like in my situation, you get the degree, okay, you memorize formulas, but in the actual job, what's that going to do for you? Yeah, so you need to have the experience first, and then a lot of the time you can say that you want a career change, you want something new. So even if it's coming into entry point and then building up from there.
Yeah, I guess when you're older, it changes a little bit, because you can't enter as an apprentice anymore. Yeah. So it's, like you said, I guess finding... would you say there are many jobs that are available for people who don't have...
I think in finance, you can start... If you went to a recruiter, you can go for admin. You do see people in their 40s, like just to get into it.
Okay.
So even if it's like a temp for 3 months, sometimes with a lot of temp jobs, they need someone. Sometimes they even explain it as that we need someone there, basically. yeah. So that'll be a start, and then as you build up, you get a reference, and then you start to progress that way.
Oh, okay.
But
fair enough.
I think with the workplace nowadays, it's a lot of moving around. It's not what it used to be. So it's the whole, if I can't progress here, then I have to move on to somewhere else. Yeah.
Fair enough, man. Okay, what would I have to be interested in for you to recommend this job to me?
You'd have to like working on computers, which I think most people do. What else would you be interested in? Problem solving skills, working under pressure as well, multitasking. Yeah, it's quite a lot. I multitask like 4 different things. Yeah.
There you go. Let the people know, man. They need to know, bro. They need to know if I'm going to get into this role, man, this is what's going to happen.
Yeah. It's like Excel, so IT skills, that sort of stuff. Personal skills, problem solving, dealing with people that, there's some people that don't have the best attitude, so you got to learn how to deal with them. I have to deal with that a lot,
Nah, cool, man. Okay, cool, Marcus. So basically, man, it's been an interesting journey. I was going to say, do you see yourself potentially changing your path? Like, do you see yourself still doing what you're doing, or can you see in the future, I'm not going to be doing this like forever. I'm going to do something different.
As in completely different, or?
I'd say the thing is, I guess it's a little bit hard, isn't it?
Yeah.
But I'd say completely different because,
as I'm evolving, I'm moving more into ownership. So it's it goes back to what we were saying about our 20s should have been used for like trying different jobs, whether it's being a waiter, whether it's doing this, whether it's doing that, just to see what we like doing.
Yeah.
Because you can't just say that I want to do business but not be prepared for the hours that go into it.
Yeah.
And like it being all on you, that sort of thing. But as I'm educating myself, I'm evolving, and I don't know what's to come, but I'm excited as well.
Nice.
Because it's all new. Like I got used to the whole system of school, college, uni, job. So I wasn't taught like to be an owner. You're always taught to be on time, to be an employee. So there's a whole mindset shift. Yeah, which is a process. It's not an overnight thing, because if you're not programming yourself, you're being programmed. So it's about reprogramming and forgetting and relearning. And as you get older, it's harder to forget to because we get stubborn in our ways.
100%. I definitely see that. Yeah.
And that's why I want to teach my children as well. That I want you to know that you can be an owner. You don't have to work for someone else. You can do it for experience, but that's why I need to lead by example. So that's what my journey is about.
Nice, man. Marcus, man, thank you very much for being on the show, mate.
Yeah, thank you for your time. I appreciate it.
No worries, man.